It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A. This is going to be live stream Q&A number 63. So I'm just going to basically wait a few minutes for more people to join, but this is basically our weekly live stream Q&A. Giuseppe De Rosa is already here and they say, "Hey Ash, hey, how are you?" So just like always, you can ask questions and, we can get a discussion going here. Last week's Q&A was pretty cool. Some pretty interesting topics were brought up and some interesting questions. So I'm hoping for more or less the same this week as well. And, some great questions from you guys. Not even sure if the audio is working right now. I'm just gonna see if it's working. I think it's working, but let me know in the chat if the audio is working or not, because I might even just write in the chat here. Okay, so the audio seems to be working, which is good. So I just finished uploading an hour ago, I guess, the crossover theory. I thought it was a very interesting theory, but I want to know everybody's opinions about that as well here. If you did watch that video, Rica Vega says it's working, and also Giuseppe De Rosa. So great. So, I'm just waiting for you guys to ask questions, but for now, I'm going to just briefly talk about the theory that I just uploaded, or the discussion about the theory that I just uploaded, so we can get a discussion maybe for that here as well. So the theory is that the crossover between The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead is going to be set so that there's a situation where Morgan from The Walking Dead is related to Diane from Fear the Walking Dead. So for those that don't know, Diane is the pickaxe girl that Alicia met in the back half of season 3. So the theory is basically that there's a relationship there, and that's what connects the two shows. So Morgan from The Walking Dead is the connective tissue there, and from Fear, it would be Diane. Now, there is really no hints or anything about that for that theory. There is some interesting kind of things that tie together. However, there isn't any solid kind of proof for it, but it's an interesting theory. I think in terms of weird, crazy theories go, this is definitely an interesting one. But I want to know everybody's opinions about that as well. There's about 4 people, or there's 4 people watching. We're about 6 minutes in, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of activity, but, we'll just see what happens. Also, for those of you that don't know, I have a channel poll that I basically set up, and the link is in most of my recent videos, where it's basically a question asking you guys how you would want me to expand the channel. Would you want me to do more TV shows or cover more TV shows? Or do you want me to do movie trailer reactions, movie reviews, or do you want me to do other content? So to vote for that poll, you can visit the previous video that I uploaded. Go to the link in the description and cast your vote there. So in like a couple months, maybe before season or the second half of season 8 starts, I'll go back to that poll and see how many people voted and basically look into what I can do to expand the channel. Giuseppe De Rosa. Hey Ash, do you think Daryl can take Carl's story for the Whisper arc? I'm not sure if that would work, because the only thing that kind of worked for Carl for that storyline is because he was young. If we don't have that kind of young aspect of Carl's story in that storyline from the comics in the Whisper War, that might not work out. So they can't just give it to Daryl. It might make more sense for them to give it to, for example, Enid. That might work better. There would still be a lot of flaws there, but it would work a bit better than if they give it to someone like Daryl. And you say, like, he can have a love story. Of course, he can have a love story, but it doesn't replace the love story between Carl and Lydia from the comics. It doesn't replace that. He could definitely have a love story during the Whisper War, maybe with a Whisperer even, if they want to go that route, which I don't think is the best thing, but it wouldn't replace the Lydia-Carl relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. What might actually work a bit better is if they actually don't give it to anyone and remix the story so that it goes to the next best thing, which is Judith. So they shouldn't give it to any kind of side character. It has to be a member of the Grimes family. That's what I believe. I don't think that story would work any other way. Even if they do it with Judith, they have to remix the story. There's no going away from that. They have to remix the story. However, how much of the story they remix is the part that would be the kind of thing that makes it difficult for them to do things, because they don't want to make it so different, so remixed, that it's very different from the comics, so that nothing from the comics would be able to come into the show. But at the same time, they have to remix it if they want to bring that story in the show. So there has to be some sort of remixing done. However, I don't think that it's the best idea to go crazy with the remixing. Giuseppe De Rosa, so do you think Judith will take it? I think she could take it, but I don't think it would necessarily work the same way, even if Judith takes it. So it would be the next best, or the next best thing, in my opinion, if they still want to bring that storyline to the show, which I don't see why they wouldn't. So at this point, I'm going to go with them wanting it for Judith. However, they could scrap it all together and remix it entirely, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not in favor of that. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think the second half will be better? The second half could be better. It just depends on how they bring some of these small pieces that they have within the story and how they want to end all that war. But, I definitely think that the second half will be better in terms of it having a conclusion. Because there will be a conclusion, they would have to wrap things up quickly. So because of that, they don't have much time to kind of push the story and stretch it out. So because of that, they're in a time constraint and they have to make it all work within the 8 episodes, because I don't think they're going to go past season 8 for All Out War. So because of that, I definitely think that it would be better, because they wouldn't be stretching the story out longer than it needs to be. Giuseppe De Rosa also asks, do you think they will do the time jump? I don't think they will do the time jump. I think at this point, that was a dream sequence. If you're referring to the part with Rick, Michonne, Judith, and Carl, that was most likely a dream sequence, because obviously Carl is going to die in the next episode. So, or it's very likely that he's going to die in the next episode. So if he does, then it doesn't make sense for him to be there in the flash forward, in the time jump. So because of that, I don't think that they would have that. I think that's just the dream sequence. But if you're referring to the time jump from the comics, then they probably will do that because it's part of the comics. It's kind of a big deal in the comics, so I definitely think they're going to do that. However, are they going to do that in season 8 or season 9? I think they're going to do it in season 9. I don't think we're going to see that in season 8, episode 16. That probably won't happen. I think we're going to see that time jump from the comics in season 9. Giuseppe De Rosa, it could help refresh the show. Well, like I said, if they do the time jump from the comics, then they definitely will do it, or they should do it. But they will probably do it in season 9. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you collect Walking Dead Funko Pops? No, I don't. I've seen them, they're pretty cool, but I don't collect any of the figures or any of the Funko Pops or anything like that. In terms of collections or collectibles go, I only collect the comics. That's the only thing I collect. Other than that, I don't really collect anything. Giuseppe De Rosa, have you been enjoying this season? I have, but not as much as I wanted to or I thought I would. I thought I would enjoy it way, way more. But it was below my expectations, I would say. Because, like I said, they've been stretching out the story for no reason. They could have, if they wanted to, they could have done all Out War in the first half. And I'm not a big fan of that. I think All Out War deserves a full season. But with the way they did it, it would have been better to do it in one half rather than stretch it out like this. So to answer your question, I've been enjoying it, but not as much as I thought I would or I wanted to. I thought this season would be the best season ever. It's nowhere close to that. Let's just say that. So we have 3 people watching, but only questions are coming from Giuseppe De Rosa. So if you are live right now watching, ask a question, say something. Let's have a conversation going. Giuseppe De Rosa also asks, do you think they should shorten the seasons? No, I don't. I think if it's part of their plan to stretch out the story, it doesn't matter how many episodes there are. If there is even 8 episodes, they want to stretch out the season or stretch out the storyline, they're going to do it in even 8 episodes. So I don't think it's a matter of how many episodes in one season. It's a matter of what they want to do and what their plan is. Because even if it's 8 episodes, or let's say it is 16 episodes, if they want to, they could make the whole All Out War in the first half and then basically move on. But because they don't want to do that, they want to have that full season, but at the same time, they don't want to go through everything quickly, then they're going to stretch it out. So I don't think it's a matter of how many episodes there are in one season. Giuseppe De Rosa also asks, I'm trying to keep the live stream going. Love these streams. Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's not you. I appreciate the questions. Keep asking them. It's just I want others to communicate and kind of join as well. That's where I'm coming from. It's more fun when there is more people talking and there is like a conversation between multiple people than if it's just me answering one person's questions. But like I said, because you're the only one asking, that's okay. We can continue like this. Actually gonna quickly check something here first. Giuseppe De Rosa, I want more people asking questions. Me too. We're on the same boat there. I did a live stream last week. It wasn't a weekly Q&A live stream. It was just a random spontaneous one. And it pretty much failed because there was really no one there. So, you know, it just depends. Sometimes the live streams, there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of people. Sometimes there's nothing. So, you know, it just depends. Giuseppe De Rosa, who do you think will die? I actually did a death prediction video that I posted, but just briefly, I would say the top candidates in terms of main characters that will most likely die during the second half of season 8 are obviously Carl, but also I have Morgan up there. I have obviously Simon. I have that other savior, Jared. I have Gavin. I have Tobin. I have Daryl. It's not that likely for him to die, but I have him in the list as well. But I think the one that pops out is Morgan for me. AJYT Abbott, how do you think Negan will react to Carl's death? Oh, that's actually a very good, interesting question. I think he's not going to take it well, and, you know, he might even get emotional about it, even not cry, but he will definitely get emotional, just like he always does in his own Negan way. But yeah, I think that it's going to hit him hard. Let's just say that. I don't think that other saviors will have the same reaction to Carl's death as Negan does, because obviously there was that connection between Negan and Carl that they built in season 7, and even in the last episode they continued to build on that. So there's definitely a connection there, just like the comics, but I feel like in the comics that connection was different. In the show it's a bit different, but you know, that connection still exists. So he'll definitely be he won't take it out, or that death will not, or how should I say this? That death will impact Negan in a certain way. I don't know how long it's going to impact him, but it will definitely impact him. He's not going to take it well. Giuseppe De Rosa, what season did you start making Walking Dead videos? Ooh, let's think. I think I was making them when season 6 started, but I wasn't doing it hardcore like I am now, but I think I was doing a few videos here and there, but I really got into it, I would say, in the second half of season 6. Mostly close to the end of season 6 with the cliffhanger that we got. AJYT Abbott, I think Negan sees Carl as a sort of son type figure. Yeah, you could look at it that way, definitely. He might look at Carl like the son he's always wanted. AJYT Abbott, do you think Oceanside will fight against Rick's group now that they've taken their guns and killed their leader? That's an interesting question. I don't think they're going to go to war with them. I think there'll be animosity between them. I don't think they're going to help them out during the war that we already have. And I think that there might be some sort of conflict there, some tension, but I don't think it'll be a large-scale war between Oceanside and Alexandria. I don't think that's going to happen. But like you say, they took their guns and killed their leader. So there's definitely going to be some tension there. Giuseppe De Rosa, are you upset that they killed Carl? I am very upset. I am very disappointed because we're not going to get a lot of the Carl storylines from the comics past All Out War. So because of that, I'm definitely disappointed. I've shared my opinions extensively about this, so I don't think I left anything out. I've shared everything. I'm disappointed. I don't think it was the best decision, but at the same time, I think that we shouldn't basically stay in the past. We should look in the future. We should just forget about this and think about what could happen now that this happened. So I don't think we should start blaming people and saying fire Gimple, fire this, fire that. I think we should just, as a fan base, as a fandom, and as people who love this show, continue to support it and point out the flaws, but at the same time, don't push it down. That's basically what we will be doing if we say fire Gimple. We will be pushing it down. We should give him the creative freedom to be able to make these bold decisions. So, that way he's not discouraged from making more risky decisions in the future, because some of those decisions might pay well and they may make the story better. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you wish they killed Carol or Daryl instead? No, I think for Carol, I think they could do it, but I think there's still some story left for Carol. Even though they invested a lot of basically story for her during last season and a bit this season as well, I still think that we need more Carol. I love her. I love the character. I think she's very interesting. And I think that there's still some parts of her story that needs to be explored. So it's too early for her. For Daryl, I definitely think that this season during All Out War is the best time to kill Daryl in a significant way and for it to matter. But in terms of whether Daryl replacing Carl's death would have been better or not, I can't really say, because it would have been very different. And it just depends on how they do it. If they did it right, it would have been perfect. Giuseppe De Rosa, I just love this show so much. I'm just happy it's still going. Yeah, me too. And I wanted to improve. I wanted to get better. I wanted to stay on for as long as possible. But at the same time, I wanted to have the greatest quality possible as well. AJYT Abbott, do you think Carol and Morgan are going to try to take back the kingdom? Yeah, that's definitely part of the plan, because they're still there. Gavin and the other saviors are taking it, and they rule the place right now, so Morgan and Carol will definitely want to take over. If not for the kingdom, for Ezekiel. They want to do it for Ezekiel. Not only take the kingdom back, but also save King Ezekiel as well. AJYT Abbott, do you think Siddiq blames himself for Carl's bite? Yeah, I think he does. We didn't really explore that too much, but I think he definitely does. It's partially Carl's own stupidity and his own kind of stupid plan, but at the same time, I still do believe that he will, or Siddiq will blame himself a bit. AJYT Abbott, I've been watching it since season 2. I bought season 1 and 2 on DVD, then I just continued to watch 3 to 7 live, and here I am. Yeah, I actually didn't watch it from the beginning. I started watching Walking Dead live after Herschel's death in the mid-season premiere of season 4. So I basically watched the mid-season finale of season 4 somewhat live, maybe with 2 or 3 days delay, and then I got hooked, went back, binge watched all the episodes, and I got caught up, and I watched everything live after that. And I started doing videos on Walking Dead starting season, or at the end of season 6. Hardcore at the end of season 6, but I started early on as well a bit, during the early episodes of season 6, with the fake out Glenn death. I did some videos on that. I actually had 2 channels. One, the old channel, which got shut down, and the new channel, which is this one that I have. The old channel was basically a different type of channel, because I did some other videos on there as well. I did some comedy stuff, some compilation videos of comedy shows and stuff like that. So it was a different type of channel. So I've kind of changed my videos a bit from last channel to this channel, but I like where I am in terms of this channel and where it's going. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Maggie will ever die? Maggie, I don't think so. Not anytime soon. Let's just say that. Not anytime soon. AJYT Abbott, do you think Will fully trust Siddiq? Will he fully trust Siddiq? Only if Carl says something about it and asks him to. If he doesn't, then there's still going to be that distrust that's going to be there between Rick and Siddiq. But if Carl comes out and vouches for Siddiq, then it's a different story. Alex the Savage Gamer, do you think? Yes, I do think. Just messing with you. Don't worry about it. Giuseppe De Rosa, Carl, why couldn't you just stay inside the damn house? LOL. Yeah, he should have stayed in the damn house. I don't know who put him in charge, but yeah, he should have stayed in the house. And even before that, you're right. He shouldn't have gone out and looked for Siddiq. At least he shouldn't have tried to fight 10 Walker herd or a 10 herd Walker by himself with Siddiq's help. That was a stupid decision. That's what got him killed. Or will most likely get him killed. So, yeah, he should have just stayed in the house. AJYT Abbott, do you think Carl will die at the very end of the mid-season premiere? I think he's going to die at the start. I think that's what we're going to see, and then we're done with it. They're going to move on. I don't think they're going to drag it on for much longer than that. AJYT Abbott, do you think Alexandria is completely lost? Yes, I do. I think it's completely lost. They will most likely rebuild soon, but right now, it's a mess. Alex the Savage Gamer, do you think Rick will keep the walkie-talkie that we see in the promo and we can see Rick and Negan talk to each other in the behalf? Yeah, I think that's what they have in store for us for the second half. And to be honest, I like that. I think that it's an interesting deviation from the comics. And it's a great way for us to kind of have some scenes between them in terms of them communicating like that. If they're face-to-face, then it would be unrealistic for them to just talk because we would be like, they should just kill each other. But through walkie-talkies, it's more realistic and it's more grounded in reality. That way, it makes more sense for them to just be talking to each other, trash-talking each other a bit, instead of, going for each other and trying to kill each other. So I think it makes it better. That is definitely something that's different from the comics that I like better. But it depends if they're going to have that be a big part of the second half or if it's just going to happen once or twice. I hope that they do it more than just once or twice because I definitely think it's interesting. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Rick will put him down? I think you're referring to Carl. Then yeah, I think he will. It makes the most sense. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think we're like 30 minutes in, so maybe a couple more minutes because I do have to leave in a few minutes, so maybe I'll give it 5 more minutes. It's been a great discussion so far, but 5 more minutes. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Rick will put him... I just read that, sorry. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think we'll see Crazy Savage Rick? We probably will for a short period, but if we see Savage Rick, then it's going to be hard for them to bring the end of All Out War to the show the same way as it happened in the comics. So if they want to stay true to the comics, then they might not want to have Savage Rick. They might want to have a different Rick. AJYT Abbott, Carl, you didn't think to run from the walkers. Siddiq didn't need to see you were a badass. You could have just ran. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Stupid decisions on both of their parts. Maybe a bit of lazy writing as well, if you want to go that route, but definitely a stupid decision. D'Angelo Dud, bruh. I watched the video that Carl survived the zombie bite in season 8. He didn't. He got bit in the chest area. He's not going to survive that. He's definitely going to die. AJYT Abbott, do you think Daryl and Tara will still carry out their plan to kill Dwight? I'm starting to feel bad because he finally killed some of his colleagues. I wouldn't call them colleagues, but I see where you're going with it. But in terms of Daryl and Tara still wanting to kill Dwight, I think they do. I hope that we don't continue to see stupid decisions by Tara and Daryl and solo plans by the two. I hope they're more aware and think about what they do. But in terms of them wanting to kill Dwight, I think they always want to kill Dwight. No matter what Dwight does, Tara and Daryl, mostly Tara, will want to kill Dwight. They don't want to give him a chance. At this point, they're giving him a chance because he's bringing something. Him being there is an advantage. That's why they're not killing him. If there is no advantage, which there doesn't seem to be anymore, they want to kill him straight away. Giuseppe DeRosa. Do you think Rick will have that big beard again? He looked awesome in Season 5. I hope so. Rick with the beard is always the greatest Rick, so I hope so. AJYT Abbott. It disappoints me that Carl was gonna die, but it disappoints me even more that he said he was bitten. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think even if they wanted to kill Carl, this was the worst decision. A terrible way to have him be killed, just with a bite. That's a terrible way. They could have given him an awesome, epic death. They didn't go that route. They just gave him a bite. And we didn't even see him get bit. It was off screen, or it was on screen, but it was subtle. So what was the point? He was big enough of a character to be given an epic death. So a waste. I think they I think they wasted Carl's story in the show, for sure. Excuse me. Giuseppe DeRosa. If they skip the Whisperer arc, I'm going to be very pissed, but still watch, of course. I'm going to be pissed as well. I'm going to watch as well, but I might not be invested as much. And I might even not do videos like I do right now if they go that route. AJYT Abbott, out of all things, we choose a Walker Bite for a Season 1 character. Yeah, I agree. Giuseppe DeRosa, why couldn't Carl have gotten blown up? LOL, that would have been crazy. Yeah, I agree with you. If they wanted to kill him off, that would have been better. It already happened kind of the same way in the comics. He got blown up. He didn't die, but he got blown up. So they could have remixed it and have him actually get killed that way. It would have been an epic death, but it would have been, or it wouldn't, I would still have been disappointed because I don't think it's a best idea to kill Carl, but at the same time, it would have been a way better death than what they gave him. Alex the Savage Gamer, I hope we will see the Whisper War because they have been rumored not to be in the show. Yeah, I heard those rumors as well. I hope they're not true because if they don't bring all out, or they don't bring the Whisper War to the show, then it would be a bit disappointing because as underwhelming as the Whisper War was in the comics, it would still be great to see it in the show. AJYT Abbott, I would have honestly loved the Carl versus Negan fight, and Carl sacrificed himself to defeat Negan. I wanted a huge fight in that cell that Morgan built. Yeah, that would have been interesting. That would have been a cool one as well. Giuseppe DeRosa, the Whisperer arc can bring back the horror and more zombie theme. Yeah, definitely. And it would make it a bit different because we've never seen anything like that. We've seen a lot of villains just show up and die, or show up and not die like Negan in the comics, but we've never seen a twist on the villains like the Whisperers had. So it would definitely be something different. And for non-comic readers, it would be very cool, very interesting. I think that it would be something that might save the show, to be honest, in terms of non-comic readers. For non-comic readers, at least. And make them more excited and more interested and invested in the show. Giuseppe DeRosa, I think this is what they need. Yeah, I agree. AJYT Abbott, we could have had Carl lead Negan to that cell, and then Carl blocks the door behind him, and Negan kills him and Negan kills Carl, but at least Negan is trapped and defeated. We could have seen that. That would have been cool, but I don't think it would be in character for Negan to want to kill Carl like that. As much as he wanted to kill him during the finale of season 7, I don't think that it's in Negan's plan to ever want to kill Carl. There's that connection that we talked about. So it would have been a bit weird and out of character, I would think. They could make it work, but it would have needed a bit of a tweak here and there in terms of what you're saying there. Giuseppe De Rosa, The Walking Dead got 200 male viewers internationally for the season 7 premiere. The show is still very popular. It's still very popular, but however, it is declining. It's definitely not as popular as it used to be. AJYT Abbott, do you think they will still add Lydia to the Whisperer arc, even though Carl is going to be dead? Depends. Depends how they want to remix the story. If they're not going to have that part of the story, then they might not even want to bring Lydia in. So it just depends what they want to do. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think we'll see more spin-off series when The Walking Dead ends? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's the best idea because even Fear is struggling right now. So when you have two shows that are struggling, bringing another spin-off show does not help the situation. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's the best idea to do that. We are 38 minutes in. I have to go right now because I have to do a couple things. Maybe one more question and that's it. Alex the Savage Gamer, I think Mudwalkers would be cool to see where our characters are trying to get through deep mud. Yeah, that would be interesting. We saw something like that with the Sandwalkers that Tara and Heath came upon, but that would have been interesting as well. Maybe one more. AJYT Abbott, do you think Enid will resort back to her silent and closed off attitude when she finds out Carl has died? Yeah, they could do that. That would be a good story for her. However, it would be repetitive, in my opinion. Giuseppe De Rosa, why are they even continuing Fear? It's not that good. They don't even put enough zombies. Yeah, the quality of the show is not that great. They could definitely improve. But I don't think it's the best thing to just end the show. I think they should just keep improving it. Giuseppe De Rosa says, good night, Ash. Good night. Thank you everyone who participated. I really do have to go now. So again, thank you for everyone who joined the live stream and participated. I appreciate the support and everyone joining and asking questions. And again, next week, we're going to have another live stream Q&A. I don't know if it's going to be Friday or Saturday, but I'm going to do a video before it and basically let you guys know just like I did tonight. So you would know that it's going to be coming up so you don't miss it. That's it for this live stream. Thank you for participating. I'll see you next time for another super video.